Havenites, it is Thursday night. It is Ice Apocalypse. It is the end of all things 2024, which means it's time for Shop Talk, and we got comic books to talk about. So let's do that as soon as we play this awesome video. Once again, big shout out to Nick Ellis of Two Brothers Comics for that great intro video. We really appreciate it. And I still love it literally every time I see it. So thank you, Nick. We're going to cut right to the heart of things tonight. We're going to bring on the one, the only, the finally healthy Mr. Alan Breedlove.
Honestly, this is kind of surreal for me because for the first time in Shop Talk history, I am actually coming live from Studio A, which is my own home for once. Um, those of y'all that don't know, we really don't have high speed internet at our house. So I have to go to my sister's a lot for, I'm sorry, I'm adjusting this. I have to go to my sister's a lot so I can do the show from there. So it's kind of weird to actually be sitting here doing it on my phone.
It's going to take us some getting used to. We're going to miss those Batman curtains.
Well, she actually took the Batman curtains down, and now she has up those butt ugly curtains again. So it is nice being surrounded by my own stuff. I mean, I can literally just reach right over and grab Donkey Kong for no reason whatsoever.
Because Donkey Kong is awesome. I think we've established.
Before we go any further, though, a couple weeks ago when we had Dustin Ellis on and he was talking about Godzilla, Dustin, for those that don't know, Dustin is a big Godzilla fan. Dustin, you are not truly a Godzilla fan until you purchase Godzilla for your 5-year-old son, and then that night decide that it's no longer his, it's yours now. And it has been for, oh, good Lord, 12 years. I'm not above
that explains why it's in such fine shape.
Yeah, I'm not above taking my kids' toys. So there you go, Dustin. There's your old school Godzilla too.
Hey, what's up, James? How you doing, brother?
Hey, how's it going, James?
Have you been all iced in like the rest of us? Tell us your experience with Ice Apocalypse 2024.
One of our neighbors actually has gotten out and got his bobcat out and has scraped the road up and down the main road where we live. The problem is once you get past it, there's really not a lot you can do because of ice everywhere else. So at least we can go back and forth between the neighbors now.
Well, at least you have that. I watched somebody coming down the hill in front of my house today. That we're here and the hill comes down like this. And I watched this guy come down, and just as he got to our house, I don't know if he planned to turn into the road across from our house or what, but he just kind of did this, and then he just did a 360 and kept going, just sliding on the ice. Thankfully, nobody was parked on the street or anything, and he didn't hit anybody, but I just watched that truck do that and thought, nope, that's one of the reasons we stay home.
Yep, that's exactly the reason right there. I mean, so yeah, I was sick last week and couldn't go to work. And now this week, I have been stuck at home for 2 weeks, and it is driving me nuts.
Well, let's just talk about last week for a minute because you missed one heck of an episode.
I got to see a lot of it, but I did not get to see the beginning of it. And honestly, I've had time. I've just been doing a ton of reading here lately. Believe it or not, I'm actually caught up on comics now, other than what's at the shop waiting on me.
Speaking of things at the shop, I'm hoping to goodness we were expecting deliveries on Tuesday for our regular shipment for this week, but obviously nobody could get to the store on Tuesday. Pretty sure that UPS wasn't running on Tuesday. But nobody could get there yesterday or today, and we're getting rain and freezing stuff tonight, and the roads are all going to be right back to garbage tomorrow and Saturday. We might not even be able to open the doors this week. So I got product coming in that I don't know if they're gonna like try and deliver it 3 times and nobody's there and they're gonna ship it back. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I need my stuff.
But I don't think really anybody's open.
Some places are, and I don't know how they're doing it, but yeah, some places are. They had the Madison Police and Huntsville Police had closed down Slaughter Road yesterday.
Yeah.
And the Huntsville Police Department, I don't know if you guys saw this, but they also issued a statement saying, look, there's so many wrecks and fender benders and things, and we've told y'all to stay home. Unless somebody is injured or the cars are not drivable, don't call us. Just don't even call us.
I can believe it. I've got a buddy of mine I was emailing back and forth with earlier, and he ventured out to go to Walmart on 72.
Yeah.
And he said old railroad bed was just awful. He said parts of 72 were not that bad. But he said Walmart, there was literally nobody there. I mean, it was just a couple of workers, and that was it.
I believe it.
So, but yeah, I don't think
I feel bad for not being able to be available for folks to get their comics and such, but also because I want to get the new comics and read them.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman #5. Come on, guys. We need that.
Yeah, and I want to get my hands on that Cobra Commander.
I got to tell you, we can go ahead and start with that if you want to. But you guys who are watching, you know that we're big fans of G.I. Joe. Speaking of people watching, I need you to text Nick Ellis and see where the heck he is.
Well, I'm doing this on my phone, so I can't text him.
I'll text him. You talk about how we love G.I. Joe and Duke, and then I'll come in about Cobra Commander.
Well, I'm glad you said Duke. And before anybody says anything, oh no, they're just saying that because that's the new stuff out. No, here's Duke right here. What y'all can't see is my G.I. Joe figures lined up against there. And I'm mainly doing this for the people that may actually question us on some level. Hey, here's my graded G.I. Joe #1. And if that's not good enough for you, here's my raw G.I. Joe #1. So when we say that we're G.I. Joe fans, we're not joking around.
I mean, anybody who looks behind me can see that we're G.I. Joe fans.
Oh, most definitely. But since you mentioned Duke, and I've actually got the book right here. So with the birth of the Energon verse, Duke #1, you do get introduced to Duke. I believe it was Transformers #2.
Yep.
And I was kind of really curious about how they were going to do it. What Duke was going to be like. What was this new? How were they going to do the Energon verse?
Hang on one sec. Blue Hellion, brother, we might need you to come down here and pick up your weather because we got it. We had a wind chill of 16 below zero last Tuesday. 16 below zero. It was the exact same weather as my wife's cousin in Sweden. That is not our weather. We're going to need you to come pick that up. But otherwise, hope you're doing well there in Nebraska, brother. It's good to see you, sir. Continue.
Okay.
Duke, #1.
My desktop just went crazy on me. I'm really, really, really enjoyed this shaggy-headed, bearded, unstoppable version of Duke.
He has personality.
Definitely a ton more personality.
Been a real personable character in the original series.
Yeah, I like the whole. There's a little more spy feel to it, a little more espionage.
Yep.
I like that. I like that he's on the run. We're definitely getting a lot more character in the first issue of Duke than we have in tons of other stuff when it comes to him. This was actually Joshua Williamson did a great job with this first issue. So
I
I'm
thought
definitely
Duke was
looking
handled
forward to
very
where it
well in
goes.
Transformers #2, where we first meet him.
Yep.
But I really liked him in this first issue. I like the other characters that you meet along the way, like Dr. Burkhart from G.I. Joe #1.
Yep.
I like some of the stuff because they're at a convention that's full of conspiracy theorists and nuts, is where they meet up, right? And he's like, "This is not what I expected." And she's like, "Yeah, but it's a great place to have these conversations because everybody's thinking the same thing you are. They're wrong, but uh, for different reasons." Uh, anyway, but in that scene, there's some nice little Easter eggs to things like the Weather Dominator from the GI Joe cartoon.
Yep.
Stuff like that. You're like, "Oh, there we go. Well played."
Yeah. I like the little nods to it. I love the way that it ended. Um, I mean, who do you who do you get to stop the best? Well, you got to get the best. So we're going to bring in Rock and Roll and Stalker. So I
Yep,
mean, it honestly it set up issue 2 perfectly.
it really did. I loved Clutch in it. He was always one of my favorites out of the originals. Always really liked Clutch. Loved Stalker. Stalker's great, but Rock and Roll, it was a good intro to those characters, and I thought that was well done. Um, so we say all that, and Cobra Commander #1 comes out this week. We did get copies in because those arrived before the storms hit for that particular publisher and distributor. Um, so I have had a chance to read Cobra Commander #1, and as much as I loved Duke #1 and really really enjoyed it, I feel the exact opposite about Cobra Commander #1.
Really.
So very much. It's like they took what should have been an Easter egg and said, "This is the entire foundation upon which we are building Cobra." And it's absolutely nonsensical. Mike, we are watching the weather and the roads, and I wish we had a better answer for you. Um, but honestly, with the other weather coming in tonight and everything getting bad again, it might be Sunday. Um, but when we were keeping an eye on it day to day, but realistically, I think the soonest might be Sunday. It might even be next Wednesday. I just don't know at this point what the weather will permit because apparently Slaughter Road has been worse than a lot of them. My nephew lives on Slaughter Road, and there have just been wrecks and wrecks and wrecks all over it. And HPD shut it down yesterday, and they're like, "Do not drive on this road." So I don't know. Maybe Sunday, maybe next Wednesday. I just don't know. The sooner the better, because we still have to pay for all the merchandise. But if we don't have money coming in, that makes that a lot harder.
You would think that. I mean, up to about the shop, you wouldn't think it would be that bad. It would be past the shop once you start getting more toward the wooded area, so to speak.
But a lot of folks have to come from that direction.
Yeah.
Because all the other ways that you would go, like down Research Park Boulevard, stuff like that, it's all there's overpasses and things. So yeah, I absolutely believe that. Uh,
Yeah, and there was also that 18 wheeler that jackknifed on crap 72 up in that area.
yep. That last little bit after the comma is very important to that statement, Blue Hellion, but that does make the whole statement correct. That's, that's
Uh,
right. For the right delivery fee, I will bring those comics. But yeah, Cobra Commander #1 was. It's like I was riding high in my hot air balloon, and somebody just took a of GI Joe and all these things that are happening in the Energon universe. I'm like, yes. And then somebody just strafed my hot air balloon with a 50 caliber. It was so painfully disappointing. I just, I mean, I can tell you why, but I don't want to ruin it
Well,
for other people.
yeah, you had told me a couple of things, and that's, I mean, I think we can kind of talk around it without ruining it. You know, you and I did talk about that one character, and you said that it does not call him by name. Um,
Correct.
do we get a glimpse of him, or
Yeah, you
do
see
we?
him, but the
Okay,
other characters from that are called by name, and it starts off the first thing you see after the little opening sequence where he's just hijacking some dude's car
yeah,
is some people at like this weird underground uh thing. I mean, it could be on Mars for all you know, but it's a weird underground thing, and these people like trying to break into this huge vault, and they're going Cobra la 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 la, and it got worse from there.
really.
Yes,
Mm.
but it mentioned Lord Globulus and all this stuff, and it just the problem with it is that it makes Cobra Commander, he's not a human person who
Yeah,
uh, has this army and you can fight against. He's an alien. He's not. It's not GI Joe. It's not good guys versus bad guys. It's humans versus aliens, and that's a different story. And I don't like it. The aliens are already being introduced through the Transformers, right? But those being in the Energon universe, the same, the same universe. We don't need for Cobra Law and Cobra Commander and all these to also be these completely foreign entities. Did not care
but
for
you
that.
know, if you think about it, if we go back to the original introduction of Cobra Law and all them, it really and truly made no sense.
None
Um,
whatsoever.
for them just to come out of complete and total nowhere like they did. Maybe with the whole introduction of the Energon verse, this will actually hopefully correct that. You know, maybe it'll get into it. I don't know. Um, I never. I liked the look of Nemesis Enforcer. I thought Nemesis
Oh, I thought he
Enforcer
looked great.
yeah, was
He looked
probably the
great.
best thing to come out of it.
Yeah. Because you
But
had him, you had the weird dude with the wings, and then you had Globulus, which was like a bald dude with an eye patch on top of the body of a snake.
yeah, the my thing about the whole Cobra Law storyline was it made Cobra Commander just look completely and totally weak. Like there was never any point in him whatsoever.
That's exactly
Um,
right. And in this one, he's like some rebel within the Cobra Law community, some rebel scientist conducting all his illicit experiments. But even so, it's like you're not. Paul Jenkins said it really well last week because we talked about his Cobra Reborn, the one shot that he wrote 2009 or whatever it was. That was utterly brilliant. It was great, and it was scary because it made Cobra Commander somebody that you watch and go, "Holy crap! I believe this guy.
yeah,
He's got a point. I agree with him. I just don't agree with his tactics." It made him frightening, um, in a really cool way because Cobra Commander has never been that. He's never been somebody. I've always wondered, like, why would anybody follow that guy? He's like a whiny baby with a bad temper, who barks out orders at people all the time, and they don't always make sense. And he doesn't have seem to have any real, honest to goodness, long term strategy. Um, but it made him somebody that you're like, okay, that's a viable bad guy. I see why people would flock to him and want to follow him.
yeah.
And this just makes him okay. He's some weird alien dude. He doesn't even
Do
seem human.
you do you see him without the face shield at all in it?
No,
Okay, Well, and the reason why I ask is you go back to the weird alien dude. So I didn't know if maybe they showed him without the face. I mean,
No. I'm saying he just seems that way because his origin is not human.
gotcha.
It's Cobra Law. It's not the same thing at all.
But is it the same Cobra Law that we grew up with, though? I guess
The
that
one
would
that
be
made
my
that
next
one
question.
appearance in the movie that one time,
Yeah.
sort of, mostly.
Okay.
It was just something that should not. It makes as an Easter egg, it would have been fantastic. As the foundation of Cobra, it's hideous, and I am
Well,
very, very unhappy. I've been so happy with everything else, and then this just is like, cold water being thrown on me. Um, our friend Damon Hawk, who came on the show when um, we had Tony Harris on and James Robinson.
yep.
He says, I don't understand anyone thinking Cobra Law is a story point worth telling. And it's not enough to say, whoa, look at this deep cut. Bet you didn't think we'd go here. And that's what it feels like. Like, here's a real wackadoo thing from the movie this one time. Let's pull that out and use that as the basis of the whole thing.
The, who's writing Cobra Commander?
I wanted to say it was Josh Williamson, but let me double check.
Well, I mean, the big
Joshua
thing right now.
Williamson.
The big thing right now with me is it's the first issue, so maybe we can
the first issue
time to fix it. Oh, first issue of Duke was absolutely fantastic.
Right. I don't think there is time to. I don't. There might be time to fix it, but I don't think there's a way you can fix it unless he wakes up and it was all a bad dream.
No, I mean fix the original Cobra Law. You know what was going on there.
Oh, I don't think he has any intention of doing that. I don't get any sense of that whatsoever.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see where they go then.
I mean, so people are like wondering, well, I don't know Cobra Law. I don't remember Cobra Law. Okay, that's fine because it appeared in the 1987 G.I. Joe the movie, right? This is the landscape. I'm going to go embiggen myself. But this is the landscape of Cobra Law. That ain't Earth.
And that's straight out of the book?
Yeah, this is the landscape. This is where it comes from. Let me see here. This panel down here. Where are we? Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's people hitching a ride on a super mega giant stingray, manta ray.
Well, maybe they can pull it off to where Cobra Law is like some type of lost Atlantis civilization.
Even so, that's not what Cobra Commander is or should be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can read that. Cobra la 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 la. What is that? Come on. Come on. But yeah, the first time you see him, again, this is after the scene where he's on Earth and he like steals some dude's car at a bar. Is he shoots this guy in the head, and that's your first time you really see Cobra Commander.
Well, since we're getting Cobra Law, do you think we're going to get Lieutenant Falcon?
Probably, although who wants him? But I mean, this is the kind of goofy stuff that we are dealing with. The guy over here, I guess it's on the right-hand side of the screen.
Yeah.
Where the dude is all eaten up with sickness and he's got snakes crawling all over him and stuff. I mean, like, what is this nonsense?
I did had to grab it. It was this movie right here. I got the Blu-ray,
but on screen I am bigging myself. So let me.
Sorry.
There you go.
It is this movie right here that Cobra Law makes its debut with Nemesis Enforcer.
Yep.
I was looking at it. It does not have what year that it come out. That's what I was actually grabbing it to see.
I'm pretty sure it was 1987.
Yeah. It's got the copyright of the when they started pumping the movie out for video and stuff, but that's about it.
Let me rephrase here. I am pretty sure, now that I have said this, that this mostly sick. I gotta switch this out.
Yeah.
He's on the web view.
Switch this over again.
This mostly desiccated looking dude here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you see his arm is all, he's missing an eye. This kind of, I believe this is Cobra Commander actually. It
Okay.
wasn't clear the first time I read it, but as I'm looking at it now, here he spends 2 pages in bed healing up. And this is fun. When you look at this,
Yep.
it's so frustrating because it's hard to see. He lost an eye, and he has this new weird alien eyeball thing in the middle of his forehead for some reason.
Yeah. Now, didn't they? Because it's been a year since I watched the movie. Didn't they do that in the movie? He had like eyes all over his face.
Yes. But this is the Cobra Commander that they're giving us.
I want hooded Cobra Commander.
I mean, he can change his costumes. I'm totally cool with it. I always liked hooded Cobra Commander. But this is just some weird sci-fi book. This ain't Cobra Commander. This ain't G.I. Joe. And it never improves.
This is only supposed
I
to be
don't
what?
see a way for them to make this improve. They wrote themselves into a corner. And this new look of Cobra Commander wearing the mask and all that, but with a hat, where this is his new look going, that he's like, what is that? Come on. I don't know if Joshua Williamson just got drunk on his own power with this one or what. And I would love to talk to him about it because I don't get it. And he might be able to make me understand it. But
What
as
if
it is
he's
right now, I love Duke #1. I hate Cobra Commander #1.
so Cobra Commander is only going to be what 4 issues?
So is Duke.
What if he's setting this up for Cobra Commander to destroy Cobra Law and then strike out on his own?
He's still not human. He's still not what he should be. The whole origin is just a
Yeah.
complete foobar. And I don't have to have him be the exact same used car salesman who's wrecked by the system and all that stuff. But that's somebody that you can get behind as a bad guy.
Yep.
An alien guy is there's nothing about this dude that could possibly be sympathetic at all. You can't do anything other than have a mustache twirling bad guy out of that. That's all he can be.
See, everything that you've said, I agree with, but it just makes me want to read the comic even more now.
Well, good. I want people to read the comic. Maybe somebody can make me see something I'm not seeing and make me change my mind. I would love that because I really desperately want to like this and be excited about it. But holy smokes, right now it just feels like somebody peed on the book, something I loved, and we're like, here you go, enjoy.
You know, something that I wanted, it kind of switching gears a little bit, something that I wanted to be excited about, but the book fell flat from beginning to end for me. Kneel Before Zod.
I agree. That should have been a riveting read.
And it's basically him and his son arguing and fighting. That's literally all I took away from that book. It really.
You know, I don't have to write it because Paul Jenkins already did. That Cobra Reborn story that we talked about last week. That was perfect because it made you like intrigued by this guy and you believed him because he was sincere. It already exists. It should be used here, and it just chaps me that this is what we got instead.
Was that done under Devil's Due?
Yeah, or when Devil's Due was at Image.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Because see, I never got to read that. I have never been able to track down a copy of. I mean, I could
Well,
buy a
that's
copy
one
off
thing I would
eBay,
tell
but that's
you,
not
to
fun.
go to eBay and get it, because you're not going to find it anywhere else. It's not around.
Yeah.
Uh, but go to eBay and get it, because you will not regret it. That's a book you need to read, and the only thing you will do, like I did, is you will say, "Where's the next issue? I want more."
See, I just don't like buying books off eBay. It's just not fun to me.
Oh, I get that. I get it. But that's not a book I have ever seen in a collection, or I've never seen it in another shop, and we don't
Yeah.
have it. Um, it's just a hard one to get. You know, I wouldn't mind taking a whack at running a GI Joe series. I could do that for a while. I love me some GI Joe.
That would be kind of fun.
Pull out some characters and run with some storylines. That's one of the things I liked about special missions back in the day,
Yeah.
was you got stories of some of the characters who were less prominent um, in the main book. Oh, there is another. While I had the dose of Cobra Commander that I did not like this week, um, I did get a dose of something I did like this week.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about next. Is that Mindbender on the cover of it?
Oh, yes, sir. Ah, this is a good book.
So that's
Larry
what. That's issue
Hama.
303, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Larry Hama is a good man. I will say that it is absolutely bizarre to just have Snake Eyes talking. Like it's no big deal. Like, I'm just not used to seeing him talk. That's a weird thing to say, to seeing someone talk. But we read the word balloons. I don't know what his voice sounds like. Like, in your head, you kind of picture different voices for people. I have no idea what Snake Eyes' voice sounds like, because he's never had one ever.
Yeah. Like we talked about last time, we apparently did not think this regeneration through, and
Right.
Larry Hama did. Um, because just seeing it in the last issue was so bizarre. I mean, it was just strange, and you're just kind of like, oh my god, he spoke. Okay, and like you said, what is his voice sound? Because we've had years, to kind of what we think
Decade.
these people should sound like. Um, and even growing up with the cartoon.
Okay.
Um,
So yes, absolutely, you nailed it. They are running two different canons between the Hama book and the Energon universe, and there is no plan for those to come together whatsoever. We have safe and sound, protected in its own corner. The Larry Hama story running down the same continuity it has run for 300 and now 3 issues. Uh, so yeah, that's the same. That is not going to overlap or intertwine with the Energon universe. There's no plan for that. That's a totally separate animal. Uh, so yeah, that's exactly right. It's awesome though, what he's doing. It's so much like just getting to visit with an old friend every month when this comes out. It makes my soul happy.
and I'm glad they're doing it that way.
Me too.
Um, because I just don't think that once again, I mean, we've talked about this before. I don't think that our GI Joe that we grew up with really and truly exist or should exist in the same world as Transformers.
Nope.
Um, for the simple fact they would dominate each other's stories. You
Yeah.
wouldn't really and truly be able to tell a story about one without the other being involved.
Well, and the
Um,
types of worlds they have are so vastly different. I mean, what kind of story are you going to tell with Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow infiltrating some red ninja stronghold? Or do they just send in, you know, Optimus Prime, who destroys the whole thing, and there you go? Uh, It's just not. It doesn't make any sense. Did they ever do a GI Joe Punisher crossover? They have not. Um, though now that you say that, I'd kind of like to see one, and it would make all the sense in the world for Frank Castle to have been in Vietnam with Snake Eyes and Stalker and Storm Shadow and those guys. That would make all the sense in the world, and I could see a really good story coming out of that.
I got to admit, I am absolutely loving doing this from my house because somebody says something and I can automatically spin and grab it.
Yep.
It's so nice. But with Blue saying that, if y'all have not picked up this new Punisher, this was 10 times better than what I thought it would be.
I got to agree with you. I thought it was really well done. I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't think it was going to be great. I thought it might be okay. I have really enjoyed it.
You go into it thinking, or at least I went into it thinking, okay, well, we've got another knockoff. We'll have to see how this guy's been wronged, why he's doing what he's doing. But it's still a compelling story, just with with a different character. I like this guy. I can't think of his name right now.
Harrison, I think.
Yeah, well, what I like his other name, the Gravedigger for Shield.
Yep.
I thought that was just the coolest thing ever. So I definitely like what they've done with this new Punisher. A lot more than what I thought they were that I would like it. Like I said, I went into it thinking it's just going to be a retelling of the same old story, but it feels fresh. I mean, it feels completely and totally different. And I like the fact that he's kind of got this attitude of, well, you know what, they can call me whatever they want to call me. I don't care.
Yeah, I could certainly see the Punisher going after Cobra Commander. I can see the Punisher going after Destro and destroying his arms empire. Like, that's where everybody's getting the guns they're using to blow away families in the park, whatever. I could see all that. That would be pretty darn cool.
Oh, and I loved Destro's cameo in Duke.
Yes, it was very good.
The way they portrayed him kind of sitting in the shadow and everything, I thought that was great. Look, I'm sitting here playing with the cat's toy. What else you got there? What you got? Oh, have you read it yet?
Oh, yeah. That's a heck of an ending.
When did that one come out?
This past week.
Okay. I couldn't make it up there last week because of the illness.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have. I just don't think Tom would have appreciated it too much.
He would not. He would not. But yeah, that's a heck of an ending. The Magic is a really good series.
Is it over with? Let's put it like that.
Yeah, it feels pretty done.
Okay. So as long as we've got definitive closure on it. Now, here's one that
Oh, you finally got to read it.
And let me tell you what, he looks wicked at the end of this issue.
Yes, he does.
I mean, absolutely wicked. And I really hope that it's who you think it is.
Oh, who I thought it was?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet.
I did see something. Tyler Kirkham has done it. And it is
embroidered on a shirt.
Yeah, really. But it is a variant cover that I don't know if it's exclusively on his website or what. But it is Mark Spector crawling out of a grave.
Heck yes.
It is literally a Moon Knight, and the grave behind it says, "Here lies Mark Spector," and it's got a crescent moon as part of the tombstone.
Oh, nice.
So that's kind of, I really hope that you're right, and that is the direction they're going in. That, Zodiac is Moon Knight, and Mark's going to have to come back.
I would just love for them to tell a story, an ongoing story in the City of the Dead for a while.
Yeah, that would be
Um,
really cool too.
because that gives us Moon Knight and the Scarlet Scarab, and I'm down for that. I'm absolutely down
Um,
for that. Real quick to address your comment here, when is that coming out? Because I can't wait to see the second part.
I think it comes out um in November, but I'm not 100%.
That's
I
so
know
long.
it really is. I can't remember when it's actually coming out, but yes, I mean I'm looking forward to it. Also, I've already got plans with some friends
I
to
mean, I
go
must have
see it.
watched the first part 3 or 4 times. I love the world building of it. I love the scope of it. All the architecture in it, right? These massive, monstrously huge buildings with all these tiny little people in it. I mean, but it's brutalist architecture too, right? There's nothing forgiving or
Yep.
soft about any of it. So you have these massive buildings that have no purpose for that size whatsoever, other than to say we have more money than you.
Um,
Uh,
I
Craziness.
like one thing that caught my attention about that movie when because we went to the movie theater to see it. One thing that really stood out to me about that movie is it was visually beautiful from
It
beginning to
really
end.
was, yeah.
I mean, every single scene was almost perfection from beginning to end.
Yep.
Um, and I mean, let's be honest. What good nerd does not want to scream Atreides is every time the army screams it? You know,
Oh,
I
for
mean,
sure.
yeah,
Oh,
we all want to do it.
he says Doom Part 2 is in March, dude.
Oh, nice. That's going to be awesome. I cannot wait then.
You are so
Um,
far off November.
well, everything seems to come out in November. I'm entitled to be wrong every once in a while.
I suppose you are. You want to know a book that is surprisingly, this book came out last week, hit the shelves last week,
Yep.
and is already selling for $30 to $40.
Really?
Yep,
Why?
because it's really good.
Is that part of the Ultimate Universe?
That's why it's called Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh, well, your fingers were covering up. Okay.
It's written by Jonathan Hickman, and the art is by Marco Cicchetto, who was doing all the art for Daredevil when Zdarsky was on it.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous to look at. It's really interesting, and the timeline, the way things work out, Pete's married to MJ, and they have 2 kids.
About time. Do we think that the price has gone up on it because of spec collectors or legit this is the birth of something new?
I think it's legit the birth of something new.
Okay.
The spec market is pretty much freaking dead right now, man. There are
Good.
very few things that anybody is doing on spec. You'd have to be some kind of a long-term look-ahead genius to be doing a lot of spec right now because the market is so awful. But this book sold out. We were sold out by Thursday morning, and I know on Saturday alone we got 7 or 8 calls and people coming in the store looking for it.
Nice.
And we got more calls on Sunday of people looking for it. And we had sold out by uh, Thursday, and we only had 3 copies left on Thursday, and that included like the higher ratio variant that got snapped up at a higher price. People are buying the book. It's a really solid read. I will say it's not fun. It's not a fun book. It has a sense of humor to it. It's got some sly stuff. One of the interesting things, it's not really a spoiler because you find out pretty early in the book, but in this world, Aunt May is dead and Uncle Ben is alive.
Okay, that's a nice twist.
He doesn't even become Spider-Man in this book. Because if you remember in Ultimate Invasion, the Maker was going around stopping people, the
Yep.
catalyst that would make people become superheroes. He was stopping it before it happened. So that world continued, for years. And now that 15-year-old kid is what, 28, 29, 30, married,
Yeah.
has two kids, and then he gets the means to become Spider-Man. So it's going to be a whole different dynamic all the way around. But
How
there's
is
a
it?
fun thing where Uncle Ben works at the Daily Bugle with J. Jonah Jameson, and they're like cronies. They're cronies in the weirdest way, but it's awesome. It's really cool. The Uncle Ben and J. Jonah Jameson dynamic is really interesting.
Now, how is it as far as a Peter Parker and MJ story are concerned?
Well, you don't see a whole lot of MJ yet. Um, you see her pop in and you see them have a conversation, but
Yep.
they are married. They have two kids. They seem to be in love with each other. It's what you want. No, MJ is not Spider-Man. Definitely not. But it's what you want out of a Spider-Man book. It's just set a bit later, and it's I get the sense there's going to be more of the Uncle Ben is going to play a really big role, and it's going to be very interesting.
So I'm laughing and I've got YouTube pulled up over here and I'm reading the YouTube comments as they come
So you saw
across.
what Jay just said.
Yeah,
Or
I
what?
saw what Jay just said. Look, Jay, just remember whenever you encounter the ghost kids, you always have to ask them how many years they've been 10 years old. Start there. That's the best way to figure it out.
It's a true statement.
Um, so I had you and I were texting the other night, or Matt, hell, it might have been last night, about what to talk about and stuff.
Yep.
I read a book the other night, and as soon as I finished it, it's what issue is it? I got it right here. It's issue 5. As soon as I finished issue 5 of this book, the first thing that popped in my mind was that I literally closed the book and thought, I feel like I'm reading the best book on the shelves right now. I
You said
don't
something
think
about that, and that made me. You didn't tell me what issue number it was, and that gives me some hints. But I'm yeah, you said it was the best book on the shelf right now, and that surprised me. Now I'm
is
thinking of what this could be based on the issue number, and that surprises me more. But are you
um
talking about The Hunger in the Dusk?
I'm talking about the Hunger in the Dusk.
I thought maybe you might be. It's a
Um
solid book, no doubt, and not enough people are reading it.
the thing about it is the world building has been great.
Yep.
The character building has been great. We're literally 5 issues into it and we're still developing characters. We're still developing story.
And the
It,
world
it,
too, for that matter, because you
yeah,
got the
the
various
I mean
clans and stuff that you're starting to learn about. Some of the
the
politics
oh
within the clans and the factions.
yeah, and then we're actually getting a little oh crap, what is it? Is it Cal? Is that his name?
Hmm.
Um, we're getting a little more into his psyche.
Yep.
Um, that just literally everything that is it G. Willow Wilson. The
Hmm.
way this entire book has been written, the way it's presented,
The
um,
art is gorgeous.
yeah, the art is gorgeous. I love the back covers. I think the back covers are awesome on these things.
They really are. Yep.
I'm kind of pulling it out now, so that's what the back covers look like, and that's the back cover on every single one of them.
Yep.
Just a different scene. This is literally, I mean, I don't understand why more people are not reading this.
Me neither. They should be.
It's got this as far as
Anybody who
the
likes fantasy at all
yes,
would like this book.
the depth of the story, the depth of the artwork, everything about this book has literally been 5 issues of perfection so far.
Yep, there hasn't
Um,
been a single false step in any issue along the way. Not one. It has
I mean,
been well done the whole way. And
I don't know
Kalisa
what they're.
particularly, um, I may be wrong, but I really, honest to goodness, Kalisa, I think you would like it. I think you would like it a lot.
I think there's a lot of people that would like it a lot. They're just not giving it a chance. I don't know what their long term plans are with this book, but this is honestly one of those books that you could see yourself reading 300 issues from now.
Oh yeah,
Um,
they've got all the tools in the world to make that story go
yeah, just to keep going. I mean, this is one of those books that if you like fantasy on any level,
at all.
um, if you want something a break from like the superhero thing or whatever it is you're reading, this is. I mean, like I said, I honestly feel like between you've got story, art, production value, the characters, the world building, everything that they've done with this book, I honestly think it's the best book on the shelves right now.
The fact that, hey, we have a Tom Price in the house. Look at that. We don't get
What
that
up?
often. How you doing, Tom? But yeah, Hunger in the Dusk is amazing. I will say it's interesting because the premise of the book, right off the bat, first thing that happens is you have humans and orcs who are both beleaguered and they're going to go under. They're going to be taken down. They have to team up. They are traditionally enemies. Not necessarily like I just inherently hate you because you're an orc, but like they fight, they squabble over territory and lands and stealing cows and things like that. But they have to team up in order to fight a common enemy. And it's interesting because the humans are all very independently minded. They're very different from one to the other. Whereas the orcs are more civically minded according to their clans and things, and they have codes of honor and stuff like that. So they look at the humans as all mostly being irrational and untrustworthy because they're not cohesive. So they're having to learn to get along with each other, while at the same time, two different orc clans are now married together, literally married together, two of the individuals. And so they've got their own things, differences from their clans and what they're used to. Really, really interesting stuff because it's just the layers and layers and layers of complexity. While it's a very simple story, but it has all this depth to it. It's really, really well done, and the artwork is exquisite. You asked the question, Mike, if it's better than Unnatural Order. I think Unnatural Order was okay, but it pales in comparison to The Hunger in the Dusk for me. Um,
No, I agree with that 100%. The Hunger in the Dusk is Mike. It's one of those books that literally just sucks you in.
and it
And
feels
you don't
epic
want
in scope.
to. Yes, and you do not want to quit reading it. You would
Also, the
act.
common enemy between orcs and humans, the Vangal,
Yep.
dude, those are creepy. Those guys are creepy and interesting, and they're powerful. And we're learning more about them as we go along, and that makes
Yep.
them an even more interesting enemy. Uh,
I like
I'm
that
digging it.
in issue 5 you find out that the Vangal aren't just some creature, just that just wants to wage war. You
Yep.
find out some backstory on them. You find out what was it? Something about they like walked in the sky or something like that was the way they're going to end up with their own mythos also.
Yep.
and I mean that it's just made it so good. There's a certain, and I don't know. Actually, I'll just do this for you, Mike. So you can see exactly who we're talking about. Um, there is a. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but there's a particular relationship that literally all of us want to see happen, but
Yep.
the way this ends up, it's like, is it going to happen? I mean, it's definitely where'd it go? Where'd it go? I'm trying to find a good picture of the Vangle. Um,
Well, kind of like Gollum, but I mean, they're all spindly like Gollum, but they're way, way, way bigger.
oh yeah.
They have those unnaturally long arms and legs and thin torsos that just gives them this wraith-like appearance. Uh,
So
yeah,
this right here, and I love this page. I thought it was great. Yes, it
is
is
it supposed to be
upside
upside
down.
down? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be upside down because he's actually in the process of interrogating someone that he's got tied upside down.
Yeah.
But this right here is what the leader of the Vangle looks like. So I mean,
He's got
as
way
you can,
more teeth than six, Tom.
yeah.
Look at all those teeth.
So I mean, as you can tell, I mean the art is, and I mean here's one with him crouched down beside the guy. I mean, they definitely did not skimp on the art at all. It's just one of those that I cannot say enough good things about this book. And it's one of those that if you like, Mike, I think you would like it. If you like fantasy on any level, I think that folks would definitely enjoy this book. And like I said, it's one of those that I can picture myself reading it 300 issues from now. That's just how good it's been.
And if you're not local to Huntsville, go to your LCS and pick it up there. It'll make them very happy. They would love to sell it to you. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah. Another book.
Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. That's terrible.
I mean, if it was Gold Goblin, Nick would have rushed right down there and got it tonight. Um,
That's right. He loves him some Gold Goblin.
Another book that's really turning into, which we had said pretty much from the get go that it's exactly what we thought it was going to be, but it's nothing like what we thought it was going to be. And one that's been really good, even though they're only on issue 2 of 4, Red Light.
Oh yeah.
Red Light's actually an extremely sad story.
Very.
Um, but the thing is, at the rate that this AI learns, I mean, they've got the potential to almost go anywhere. I mean, she could go full blown Skynet if she wanted to in the end.
Yep.
So that would definitely be fun. Another one that I thought was a really sad issue, and I was not expecting it to be a sad issue, and that was Fantastic Four issue 15.
Right?
I was not expecting myself to be sitting there going, "Come on, Reed, you've got to save Metamind."
Yes, exactly.
Trying to figure out ways that Reed could actually do it. Like I said, I told you I've been getting caught up on some comics a lot here lately.
You will probably shed a tear on that one.
Oh, I've already read that one. That's the one with the Make a Wish kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was. It's over there in the stack. That was a very good issue. I did like that she is pretty much. They admit she's home. She's back on Themyscira, and there's nothing they can do to stop her.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. It's this issue again. It's very wordy. Tom King is not afraid to put a lot of text and dialogue in, but the story is really compelling, and the art is superb. Uh,
Oh God, yeah.
Daniel St. Pierre's art is just phenomenal. I strongly, strongly recommend Wonder Woman. And if you're not reading it, you should be because it's phenomenal. It's great.
Um, Looking back over here, there was an AWA book that we both really enjoyed. And it was written by David Pepos.
Yeah,
I cannot remember, but I did not realize that he is who was writing Punisher.
correct.
Yeah, so maybe that's why I enjoyed Punisher so much.
Well, he
Um,
also, if I recall correctly, isn't he the same guy that wrote Moon Knight City of the Dead?
yes, it is.
Yeah, he may know a thing or two about writing comics.
Yeah, really. I think the kid's got a future. Oh, are you reading Alien?
I have a big stack of it to read, but I'm not caught up.
um, so Alien just started with another number one,
Yeah.
and for those of you that's not reading Alien, that makes no sense whatsoever. But for people that are reading it, it makes perfect sense. But with this number one, and I cannot pronounce his name. I'll just be honest about it.
Declan Shalvey.
Um, Shalvey. He did something with this one that he has not done with the Alien books in the past. This is actually issue number 2 of this miniseries. I say miniseries of this arc, and it is a continuation of the last one. We're still on the ice planet. It's just 12 years later, or roughly a decade later. And it's been really good to see them go back to this planet to try to. The ice planet just intrigued me for some reason, and I don't know why.
Because it's cool.
So I'm glad that they stuck. That he's kind of stuck with the two characters that he could stick with. Um, I've got here's one that it was one of those that I grabbed it off the shelf a few weeks ago, and I thought, I'll give it a try to see what's going on with it. I know some people like their books, other people don't. I'm one of those types that as long as I've got a good story, I'm happy and content. But this was by Xenoscope. It was a one shot. Lovecraft, The Call of Cthulhu.
Okay, I haven't read
That
that
was
yet.
it was actually pretty good because we're dealing with H.P. Lovecraft's grandson, and his grandson is having like visions and nightmares. Well, come to find out, H.P. Lovecraft himself, all of his books were his visions and nightmares and things that he actually fought. He actually fought those creatures. He was drawn to them; they were drawn to him, kind of type scenario.
Huh.
So he wrote all basically his adventures down. It was actually really good for a one shot. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a fun read.
Cool. I like that. I'm always looking for more good things to read.
I'm trying. What do you think about the new Batman?
This Batman?
Yes, the Batman.
I was just about to bring this up. Do you get the sense that it's actually like done? Because I have questions.
I've got the same questions, but I don't think we're going to get those anywhere near those answers until we get past Joker year one.
I agree with that.
My thing is, I think that with basically Bruce and the Joker being locked up in a cell together. Sorry, guys, we're going full blown spoiler here for a minute for those of you that haven't read it. We're going to get that Joker year one story, and we're going to get it straight from the Joker himself. I think that when this is all said and done, there's going to be something in that story that helps Bruce figure it all out and how to stop Failsafe. We're going to get some type of team up. I don't know if it's going to be deadly duo level team up,
I do wonder.
but there's going to have to be some type of team up because I just don't think that Batman can take down Zur without Joker, and Joker cannot take down Zur without Batman.
Yeah,
I
I kind
think
of
it's
wondered the same thing.
I think it's going to take both of them in order to stop him. Now, I did like the whole once we fix everything here, we'll go to your universes and we'll fix it there. I thought that was kind of cool. But at the same time, it does kind of leave him an out to where he could always escape to another universe and come back at a later date.
Yeah, this was a fascinating issue. So much going on, so much happening inside different people's heads. Fascinating issue. And I really thought it was going to be a definitive ending, and then we're going to go into Joker Year One as like a totally separate kind of a deal. But he did it way more organically than that, while also making me question a lot of things. Um, yeah, really interesting book. And this Joker Year One 3-issue story arc is going to be encapsulated its own thing that you can jump on and just read that. And I think if anybody likes the Joker at all, it behooves you to read those books. You're going to want to pick up Joker Year One. And
I
yes, I
like
said
what
behooves.
Yeah, I like what Zdarsky has done with the Joker. What little bit we have seen with the Joker, I like the whole was it 139 the Joker was in that come across more horror esque.
Yep.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what he does with this Joker Year One.
Yep.
But he has definitely proven since his very first issue on Batman, there's a much, much, much bigger picture going on.
Yes.
I mean, when did he take over Batman? Was it 125? Somewhere
125.
around?
Yep. Yep.
We're at 141 and we're still dealing with failsafe.
Yep.
I mean,
We're
he has
dealing with failsafe,
definitely,
but it hasn't been like they're beating you over the head with failsafe where you're sick and tired of him. Like everybody got, I say everybody, I got sick and tired of Venom pretty quick in Spider-Man
yeah.
because they just kept coming back and they're like, this guy's popular. Let's just use him. Oh my God, please. It got so exhausting, but failsafe hasn't been that way. He was the main focus of that first story arc, and then he kind of disappears and comes back and disappears and comes back, and not always in a linear fashion. So it's been really interesting how Zdarsky has done that.
Yeah. It was kind of, see, this is where maybe it was just me kind of reading too much or overthinking it, however we want to say it. When Zur basically uploads himself to failsafe,
Yep.
is he still failsafe or is it Zur now?
Well, that's one of
Or
my
was
questions. Yes.
or was Zur always failsafe? Was that
Yes.
you know,
Those are the questions I'm dying to know. Yes.
I mean, as much as we both enjoyed his Daredevil run, this is nothing like what he did with Daredevil.
No, not at all.
I mean, yeah, I've really enjoyed this, but now it's kind of, I hate when I feel like the story is dragging and not dragging because of the writer, it's dragging because of the ship dates. They need
Right.
to be cranking
Because
this
you
out.
don't want to wait a month for the next issue. Yes.
Exactly. So now we're going to be into summer before we actually finish up Joker Year One. We need this a little bit faster, Chip. If you can get this cranked out to me, just email me directly. I won't share it with anybody. We'll be good.
That would be pretty awesome. I would take that. I can tell. I would take that. Speaking of
I
things that
would.
are awesome, and to totally shift gears for a minute because it just occurred to me, um, you know how the expo has special guests that come to the expo, and everybody comes and gets in line for those people.
Yep.
I would like to announce that Haven Comics is going to have a special guest at our booth during the expo.
I mean, I'll sign as much for y'all as I possibly can. Um, I'll stay as late as I need to get all the pictures y'all want with me. I'm here for y'all.
That's right. And we will also have Mark Spears.
Awesome. We love us some Mark Spears.
We do. And Mark Spears, we're going to have him at our booth during the expo. Uh, yes, Mike uh, Allen will be there in his bikini.
Mm-hmm. I'm
And you
on a
know it.
speedo this thing. Just get ready.
You know what we should do? And by when I say should, I mean we definitely should not. We should get some of those wrestling uh, deals that they wear. You know, like Jake the Snake Roberts and Hulk Hogan and those guys. Uh, we should get some of those and just tromp around wearing our super tight rubber undies or whatever the heck that is.
Oh yeah, the pants and the little bikini bottom things they wear.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we could definitely do that.
If you put
Um,
knee pads and elbow pads with it, it suddenly becomes wrestling and not some dude walking around in his underwear.
so I know
I
that
mean,
it's
really?
probably
Is that am I wrong?
no. You're not wrong. I mean, you're 100% right. I'm gonna need to start juicing now, though. Um,
Maybe I'll just get me some overalls and come as Hillbilly Jim. That's
now that would be funny. So I know that it's probably a little bit too early. It might even be a lot too early. But do you have any idea of how the setup is going to be at the expo?
I'm sorry. How I what set up at the expo?
Like the booth setup, is it going to be like it was last time, or
As far as I know, yeah, we're gonna have a corner end cap. So yeah, we'll have three sides facing out.
gotcha?
Yeah, so it will be the same from that perspective.
So, yeah, so that was a good setup. I like that setup.
It was a good setup. I dug it. When is the guys' trip to Disney World? You know, I am not opposed to that at all. A guy's trip
I
to
am
Disney
not
World would be
either.
pretty fun. I would dig that. We need to figure that out. Put that on the calendar.
That would be a lot of fun. I'd be in so much trouble.
Oh, I
So
would
much.
too. And we could make Nick Ellis pay for everything, so he would be in trouble too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think yeah. I'm hoping that we go. The bug informed me, or actually informed the entire family, that 2025 will be the 10th anniversary of her first trip to Disney. So we have to go back.
That's legitimate.
So I think we're going to head hopefully that time frame. Um, but I want to try to do like maybe 9 or 10 days and go ahead and knock out Universal while we're at it.
There you go.
Just do one big massive
But they're going
trip.
to have Epic Universe is going to be open by then.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm. I've seen a couple of pictures of like concept art and stuff.
Yep.
So that would be nice to see.
Yeah, Epic Universe is going to be pretty smashing.
Yep. Um, there was another book that I was wanting to talk about.
And now I'm curious which one.
Oh, what have you thought about this Daredevil armor?
Oh, the Black Armor one?
Yeah,
The 4-issue limited set back in the day? It
yeah.
sure does
The
feel exactly like back in the day.
It does, but issue 2, he makes a comment about because he's kind of teamed up with Spider Man,
Yeah.
and he makes a comment about everybody. You know, basically Peter thinks that Matt Murdock is dead. They think I'm the new Daredevil, even though I'm still the same Daredevil. So that's what I was trying to figure out about the back in the day. It kind of confused me there for a minute.
Yeah, I don't remember what that's referencing because Daredevil like was thought to be dead a time or two back then.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. Um, it's okay. I tell you, the one I'm liking like a lot, way more than I expected, is the Gang War Daredevil limited series.
The
Um,
one with Elektra?
yes,
That was so good.
the first issue of that was great, and the second issue is great. I am really, really enjoying it.
So the second issue must have come out last week, I'm guessing.
Correct. Last week or this week?
Okay.
One last week. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like the way that's done because it kind of has a little bit of a crime noir feel to it,
Yeah, a little
or
bit.
at least to me it did. I was wondering how it was gonna go over just like a solo Electra adventure, and I ended up loving it. I thought it was great.
Same here.
I
Same
am,
here.
yeah.
Really did. Thought it was very well done, and I look forward to seeing how the rest of it goes. Well, you got
This
a
is what I've
pack.
read. This is what I've read the past week alone. Um, just trying to get caught up.
I
Oh,
feel like we should do this.
one that has really surprised me that I've enjoyed a lot, and it is a limited run, and that is Wesley Dodd's Sandman. Um,
Yep.
I like the feel, the '40s era. I'm loving this. Let me just jump to the back of it, and I can kind of show you both of them. We basically have Sandman and the the anti version of Sandman. That's been fun. Radiant Black, cannot say enough good things about Radiant Black. This is 27 and 27.5. Um, my thing though right now is if you're not reading Radiant Black, you cannot pick it up where we're at and just start reading it. You would actually need to really and truly go pick up the trades. Maybe that'll show, yeah, both covers together. Um, but where Kyle Higgins is with Radiant Black and the way he's doing this is just further proof of something that you said a couple of weeks ago about how he just looks at comics differently. Um, the way he's written basically two different stories involving the exact same main story has been just brilliant. I mean, just really good. Ribbon Queen, can't say enough good things about Ribbon Queen.
Oh heck
Uh,
no.
we're we're getting ready to wrap that up in two more issues. And I do believe we're going to end up seeing our police officer's ascent to becoming the Ribbon Queen. I think she's going to accept it, and when she does, basically all hell's going to break loose.
I was gonna go back and ask you, did you ever read two different books from Marvel came out years ago? One was called The 12, and one was called Mystery Men, and they were both set in the 40s, um, and featured like superheroes, supervillains from that time period. I believe we
No,
still have a hardcover of Mystery Men on the shelf at the store. Phenomenal book. We might still have a copy of the 12. I don't remember, but Mystery Men was a fantastic book, and I cannot recommend it strongly enough. If you dig that kind of 40s kind of noirish feel of the
yeah,
Wesley Dodd book, I think you would absolutely love Mystery Men.
I have to check that out. One that I've been kind of, it's been honestly the two issues that I've read, I just kind of thought it was just a fun read. To me, it just seems lighthearted, and I'm glad that it's not, even though it's probably not meant to be lighthearted. That's just the way it's come across to me, and that's been the Secret Wars Battle World. I mean, it's just been like a
Yeah, I've
light,
enjoyed that
easy.
pretty well. It feels like 1983, 84. You know.
Yeah, it really does. Now, one that I have absolutely loved, and I'm glad they continued on, and that is Green Arrow. This particular issue, he is back 100% back on Earth, and he's basically going to all the members of the Justice League trying to figure out why they're no longer together. Um, I mean, just it's a good issue, and it's not too late to jump on Green Arrow at all. I mean, it. Did you do that, Mystery Man?
But that's the book I was just telling you about.
Oh, let me look over here. Oh, I like the way that looks too.
Uh huh. It's
And
you
I'll
talk
have to
about a
check that out.
story that you go, I need to read more. I need more of this. And then there is no more. It's just those 12 issues that they've made into one book. Um, so sorry, it's in the 30s, not even the 40s. Uh, Golly, it's fantastic. And I really, really wanted more. And I believe we have one copy left on the wall at the store.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Sorry, I've got it over here too. I'm trying to kind of. This one should be wrapping up soon. I think maybe one more issue. Definitely been a weird book. We said from the very beginning it was definitely going to be a weird book, kind of like the whole. It definitely gives like Tales from the Dark Side, Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypts vibes, and that's Rumpus Room by AWA.
Oh, yeah, that's a weird book for sure.
Yeah, um, but it's one of those books that it's weird, but you can't stop reading it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Especially with the way the last issue ended. With have you read the last issue?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you then, but one of the
It's
this is going
okay.
to
Go
sound
for it.
that I just now thought about what I was about to say, and for people that are not reading this AWA book, you're going to be like, huh? One of the teddy bears takes its mask off. For people reading it, know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
But one of the teddy bears takes its mask off, and it's actually her sister that she's looking for. So I mean, they're definitely twisting around with this story. I'm kind of skimming through some of these.
Of all the stories I'm reading right now, that's the one that most feels like it's on drugs.
It really does. What about that one particular piece of art that he just purchased that's hanging up in the house?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of
That
those
feels
you
like
read.
a Vertigo book.
It really
You
does.
know, that one really feels like a Vertigo book.
One that we have not mentioned in a while, but I'm still reading, and it's still damn good. The Devil That Wears My Face.
Oh man, that
I
has been
mean,
so powerful.
yep.
If you
What
have
else
you
was that?
seen the Pope's Exorcist?
No, I have not seen it.
What's his
They,
face? God, what's the guy's name? He was in Gladiator. Russell Crowe.
yeah, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe stars in the Pope's Exorcist, and I'm not a big horror movie fan at all. I don't love the jump scares. I don't love that stuff. But that storyline actually has a lot in common with the storyline here in The Devil That Wears My Face. If you like this, you would really like the Pope's Exorcist.
All right, I will have to check that one out.
Just trust
It
me
was,
on that.
when you've got kids, we pretty much had to take a break for several years until the kids could get older on what we watched because we would go to watch a horror movie, and when you got a 6-year old that wants to come running in, what's watching? And you got to pause it, and it takes like 4.5 hours to watch an hour and 30-minute movie.
Yep.
But now that the kids are older, the kids actually sit down and watch it with us. One book that we have not talked about, and I kind of, but I mean, we've also been kind of scattered the past couple of months and stuff between holidays and illnesses and everything else. One that I definitely enjoyed that really intrigued me, and that's by Mad Cave, and that's Eden Frost.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. We
Yeah,
haven't
this
talked
one's
about it much. It's been a good, solid book,
yeah,
and the art style reminds me of Red Star. If you remember that one, the Christian Gossett uh, book. I think we've got one of the oversized books from Red Star left on the shelf. But yeah, the artwork looks very similar to that to Christian Gossett.
yeah. But I mean, it's another one of those. It's Mad Cave, and really and truly can't say anything bad about Mad Cave. I mean, Mad Cave and AWA put out a ton of solid books. I was not expecting a golem. I don't really
No,
know what I
I
was
wasn't either,
expecting
but
of.
it was a cool touch.
Yeah, it really was. But there was another one, and I've got it amongst these stacks somewhere. And that was that Charred Remains by AWA. I'm sorry, by Mad Cave.
Mad Cave, yeah.
Yeah, that one's definitely going to have a Twilight Zone feel to it. A little
Yes.
more horror. But I mean, it was another solid one. I really enjoyed this issue of Titans because we get um, a lot more backstory on. I can never say her name, Kari, or however you
What'd
want
you
to say
think
it.
of Beast World? Beast World.
I did not read Beast World. I picked up the first little bit of it, and I just felt like it was a little bit, not trying to offend anybody. It was just a little bit too tree huggy.
For me, it was more of a. It felt like an event for an event's sake and didn't have a point. It didn't
Yeah.
need to exist. There was
Um.
no like nobody was dying for that. It didn't come out and do anything. It just didn't need to exist. It was
Now,
okay, but it felt superfluous and it didn't bring me in. It didn't nothing exciting about it.
yeah,
It felt like a cash grab.
there was nothing in there that made me scream, "Oh my god, I've got to read this book."
Right.
Now, yeah, Gunslinger. I'm always going to be plugging Gunslinger. Gunslinger has just been a great book.
Did
But
you see
another,
Brian Silverback's Gunslinger cover that he did for Spawnuary?
yes, that was
Holy
beautiful.
smokes, that was incredible.
Um, a book that has really surprised me. I did not know anything going into it. I knew that I was mad at them for taking a break from Noctera to do this, but I was like, hey, I'm going to give it a shot anyway. And that is Edenwood.
Hmm.
Edenwood has been great so far.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't think I'm mad at is that Eden Wood and Eden Frost both came out the same week. I'm like, come on, man, what's don't do that to me.
yeah, Edenwood has been really good. Another one that has not slowed down, even though they're starting, well, we're kind of two issues into a new story arc, and that's been Conan the Barbarian. By Dynamite. Was it?
Hmm.
No, I'm sorry, by Titan Comics.
Titan.
Yeah, that one's been really good. Been good art. It's to me, this version of Conan feels almost like the movie version of Conan. You know, with Schwarzenegger back when we were younger.
Yep.
I've definitely enjoyed that. What else do I have over here? I mean, I can literally grab stacks and stacks of comics that I've been reading, and
I
that's
like that
sad.
lunchbox you got back there.
That one right there.
Yeah, that is awesome.
So, believe it or not, this was
I'm walking
actually
on air.
this was actually my lunchbox when I was a kid.
That is
I
beautiful.
I have literally had this all these years. When you got the top,
Oh, that's great.
Sad thing is, I don't have a thermos, but for some reason, I've got a Return of the Jedi thermos in there.
Which you probably had in there since what, 83?
Yeah, probably somewhere right around there. But no, this was legit my lunchbox when I was a kid. I It was just one of those things that you got that one bizarre thing that you've held on to all these years.
Yep.
This is one of those that it will never be sold. I mean, this is literally a core memory that I was able to hang on to.
Well, that's one that goes in the coffin with you.
Yeah, it definitely goes in the coffin with me.
With the sandwich.
Oof, that sandwich gonna get stinking after a while.
So
I
are
was
you.
trying to, yeah, really trying to kind of look through. I believe it or not, I know some people have been kind of blah about it. I've enjoyed um, Justice League versus Godzilla versus King Kong.
You're definitely like that one more than I have, but that's all right. Hey, what's happening, Keith? How you doing, man?
What's up? I did enjoy Green Arrow being stuck on Monster Island, and it's kind of like, hey guys, I could use a little help here.
Guys, this isn't funny anymore, guys.
It's just a little help. What issue is this? Well, doesn't matter. But no one.
Oh,
It just gets better with every issue,
butter
and
my button. Call me a biscuit. That's a heck of a book.
I mean, we're literally what 4 issues away from the end.
3 now.
Yeah, is it 3 now?
8,
And
9,
we're
10.
still nowhere near actually knowing who no one is.
Every time you think you know, you find out you don't, and that's
Yep.
really good writing.
Oh yeah, and we definitely got to get him back on the show as soon as no one wraps up, because
Yes.
about the time no one wraps up, we should be closing in on Catalyst War wrapping up also.
Yep. Yep.
So
close on.
that could be a massive conversation, just those
No
2
pun
books
intended.
alone. Yeah, really. No pun intended. I would love to get him to the expo one year.
Oh, he would be great. I'm with you, Mike. It's not doing much for me, but I'm glad that he's liking it.
Um, Honestly, it's one of those. It's a mindless action comic. You know how every once in a while you just need the mindless popcorn flick. And
You
to
just
me,
need
that's
to
what
watch
it is.
Tom Cruise ride off a cliff on a motorcycle.
Yeah. You will appreciate this, and nobody else is going to understand what I'm talking about. But I've got my blank sketch variant ready to go for a particular someone.
Yeah.
I just need that particular someone announced. And then it's going to be game on as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If we're gonna do that, I tell you, I would set him up at our booth. That's like, yeah, I know exactly where you can put him. Set him up at. Don't
He hasn't even been announced yet, has he?
No, I don't know if he's coming or not, but if he does, that would make
I
me
thought
happy.
he was.
No, it has not been. There's fingers crossed. We're hoping, but
No, wait a minute. We might be talking about 2 different people.
well, maybe we are. Who are you talking about?
I don't want to say because I have not seen him advertised yet. Let's just say that he was at your shop last year.
Oh, yeah, he's coming.
Yeah. That's who's going to be getting their hands on this.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about different people.
I'm kind of thinking
now. What are you going to have him draw? Because there's only one correct answer.
Technically, there's 3 correct answers.
But there's only one correct answer.
I know, and more than likely it's going to be Baroness.
That's the correct answer.
But I would also kind of like to do like a split, like one half is Baroness and say the other half is CoverGirl or Scarlet.
What about Lady J?
I see. I know. It's just, Lord. I need to buy about 10 more copies. I'm gonna go broke.
We got him.
So yeah, that's who's gonna be getting a hold of this sketch
That's right.
material.
That's right. You get Nathan Zerdy to waste his talents drawing Duke.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, see, Mike knows it's got to be Baroness. There is only one correct answer. You get
Yeah,
Baroness.
I'm definitely thinking Baroness.
He would do a sick Baroness, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, he would. I don't know, but I like the idea of like a split, and
Okay,
like
here's
one
what you
half
need
of
to
the
do.
face is Baroness, so the other half is Scarlet.
Here's what you need to do. You get him to draw Baroness, and then you get um, Bianca to draw Scarlet.
Yeah, I could do that.
I mean, let's be honest.
Get him to do the front cover, and then get her to do the back cover.
Oh, even better. Yeah. That would
Does
be
uh
spectacular.
does she do commissions?
No, but Mike Westlowski somehow talked her into doing one. Mike,
I'll have to.
I don't know what he said, but she was like, I will do one for you. So if you give Mike $20, he might tell you his secret.
What all comic book artists are coming this year that have been announced? Because there hasn't been a ton of comic book people announced
There
that I've
haven't
seen.
been a ton. He's been waiting on some of the comic folks. I know James O'Barr is coming, creator of The Crow.
Yeah.
And I would have to go back and look at some of the others, but yeah, he hasn't announced a whole lot of the comic book folks yet. I know that he's still trying to get a small guest roster that would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still holding out hope for that one person that
Yes.
would sign a couple of books that I've already shown off tonight.
Yes, that's correct. I'm also holding out that hope so hard. That's the one I was saying. If he comes, we could just set him up at the Haven booth.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Oh, now he might want to commit suicide after being set up at the Haven booth. Like, who are these guys who will not shut up talking to me for 3 straight days? Like, oh my God! But yeah, that could be.
I think my biggest question would be if and you can unembiggen me. I'm not showing off anything else. If any of his characters were based off of real life people.
Well, did you catch last week when we were talking with Paul Jenkins and he was talking about King Richard in Hellblazer being his brother Richard?
Yeah, I saw that part.
Name. Ooh, Greg Land would be awesome. Yeah.
Yep. Blue, Josh is the guest of honor every year.
Get out. I'm just the guest that will come up behind somebody and put my shirt over their head.
I know that
it's so funny because when I did that to Dustin Ellis, man, I did it. Nick was like, Dustin is really ticked off. He's having a really bad day. Like, what will make him happy? You should go put your shirt over his head while I videotape it.
Well, you've done that 2 years in a row, so now it's kind of tradition. It has to be done.
Yeah, but this time I'm going to put a shrimp in my belly button.
Oh no!
See, you had the visual, didn't you?
You could even put like some cocktail sauce in your mouth and just.
Gross.
Okay. I mean, really, you're talking about shrimp in your belly button. I mean, cocktail. Where are them two goobs tonight?
Oh, no doubt. This is going to be what keeps us from being able to land a great guest on the show. They're going to be like, "Yeah, I watched it, and there was some weird stuff about you putting a shrimp in your belly button. I don't think I want to come on your show."
Speaking of which, I'll tell you off the air who I'm want to reach out to, but I
Okay.
need to find I need to find out when we have free time
Okay.
because I don't even I've never talked to this person, and it was one of those where I was sitting here watching TV the other day, and I thought, oh, it'd be cool to talk to this person.
Okay.
So I'll I don't want
I'm
to say
dying to know
anything
who it
just
is
yet.
now.
Well, I'll tell you as soon as we get off the air.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I will say, just as a reminder, while I'm thinking about it, if you have not watched the episode, and this is to everybody, not just pointing at you, if you have not watched last week's episode with Paul Jenkins, you really, really, really need to. That was a phenomenal episode. He is just an incredible guest. Uh, his story, his personal story of how he grew up and how he ended up becoming a comic book writer is mind boggling. Holy Lord, it's fascinating. But then the thing that he's going through with the frivolous lawsuits and things, where that guy is trying to take a ton of money from him. And he's trying to get this guy in the courtroom because this dude's whole deal is he sues people. And then he just delays, and files motions and files things in different jurisdictions and things that are not correct. Um, until people finally give up and they settle out of court, and he makes a lot of money just for being a jerk. That's how this guy, he makes a living off of this. And Paul Jenkins is like, that's it. Somebody has to stand up to him. And he to date has been billed for more than $650,000 in legal fees over the last 3 years. So he's to the point now where he could use a little bit of help. So he's got a GoFundMe set up, which, if you can, and you think that's fighting against that kind of frivolous lawsuit and taking a guy like that into a court of law where a judge can rule against him is important, um, go to the GoFundMe and uh, donate if you can. Uh, it's a well worthy cause. If you scroll down, you'll see my name is on there twice. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is. And for a creator to be targeted like this by a guy who does what this guy does, uh, it's just not right. And I believe very strongly that it's something that should be fought. Uh, that's not going to help because it's in that form. So I'm going to go and pull up the GoFundMe, and I'll pop the link in to make it easy for you guys. Not GoFundMe. I'm sure that's going to take me to an Elmer Fudd page. I hope.
Yeah, I was going to say you hope.
I hope. Um, GoFundMe. That in is really important. But yeah, if you can, donate to the cause and help out. There's a link that I just posted. You can go to that. Yeah, thanks, Mike. I thought it was a great show. I really did. Really, really did. I don't know why, but it cut off the letter on the YouTube one, but it didn't on the comment on Facebook. So there should be a letter B at the very, very end. It probably exceeded some kind of character limit on the when I posted it to YouTube. But there should be a lowercase letter B at the end of that long string of uh, whatever it is that makes up that URL. So if you cut and paste that, just grab that letter B that shows up as the next comment and put that at the very end. And that will take you. Uh, See, so it's missing a B here, not missing a B here. So I'm guessing there's some kind of a letter limitation on the YouTube comments. But if you can go donate to the cause, I believe in it, and I think it's worth doing, and I would encourage you guys to do it too.
If you in the YouTube comments, if you just click on the link, it'll take you straight to it. Because I just clicked
Does
on
it
it.
still
And
do that? Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. But yeah, we are talking to some other folks about coming on as guests. I've got one that we haven't nailed down a date yet, but I am extremely excited if we're able to bring this guest onto the show. Like, y'all have no idea how excited. That would be an awesome, awesome show, and Alan would pee himself, so that'd be great. If you guys want to watch Alan pee himself, just wait until we make that announcement, because I'll make it new to him. That'll be the first time he hears it too, and y'all can see his reaction. It'll be great. But yeah, I'm working on several other guests. Sounds like Alan's got one in the works that he's working on too. So we hope to bring you guys some more guests, comic folks. Tell you what, pop in the comments and let us know some guests that you would like us to bring on. We'll do our best to get them. We're not afraid to call and ask anybody. People keep asking, how do you get these guys to come on your show? And I was like, I asked them. It's pretty much that. It's that simple. I asked them. And so we've had some pretty stellar guests come on this show, and I would be very pleased if we are able to get some more. So if you got folks you want us to talk to, let us know who they are, and we'll give them a shout.
I mean, honestly,
say no.
It's just an email. Yeah. I mean, and like Josh says, it's the worst they can do is say no.
Yeah, it'll be just like my dating life in high school. My first job out of high school, I was a telemarketer for the Huntsville Times newspaper. And the day one when I started, they were like, now, a lot of people can't handle this, but you're going to get a lot of rejection. Most people are going to tell you no. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And they're like, you seem like you're pretty okay with it. And I'm like, wait, dude, my high school dating life prepared me for this job.
I should not be laughing, but damn it, that's funny.
It's a true statement too, brother. Let me tell you. They all liked me, but nobody liked me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a shame. It was to the point where, like, I had a couple of girls in high school that their mothers called me and asked me if I would please ask their daughter out. And I'm like, well, do you think she'll say yes this time? Because I asked her before and I was shot down with extreme prejudice. I was like, very terribly, like, shuffled off into the friend zone. But if you think she'll say yes, I will be more than happy to ask her again. And they're like, oh. I mean, heck, the physics teacher at my school, who I didn't even have a class with, she was in charge of the Scholars Bowl thing, and I was on the Scholars Bowl team. But she was telling the girls in her class that they should go out with me. I'm like, please don't do that. There is nothing that will turn a girl off faster than a teacher saying, you should go out with that guy. Like, yeah,
that's never worked before.
Please don't do that. I mean, God bless her. Her heart was in a good place, but ouch. Ouch. That was painful. But I think probably at a good place to sign off, unless you got anything else you want to talk about.
No, I think we're good to go.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we'll get to reopen the store sometime soon. When we do, for the love of all things holy, y'all please come buy your comics, because the bills keep piling up, even if money's not coming in. So come and buy your comics as soon as we're able to reopen. Thank you, weather. Please be kind. Ease up here. And we will catch you guys next week. Y'all have a great one, and we'll see you then.